bring in the Heritage Foundation senior economist, Peter St. Onge. Peter, great to see you. I am sad that DOGE is done. I know it's supposed to be done on July 4th. I feel like there's so much more to do. Should I be, or should I be encouraged by what it's gotten started?
Oh, there is so much more to do. You know, we keep finding just scandal after scandal. We had the Somali Leering Centers. We've got the California hospices. We've got all these, houses that illegals should not have received funding for. It is endless. I think, honestly, Elon was being conservative when he said only $1 trillion. I think he might have floated about $2 trillion. There is massive amounts of fraud, but unfortunately, it is very, very difficult to get rid of because the people who are receiving that and the people who are getting a cut off of it, so the left-wing NGOs, they will lawyer right up, and it is just lawfare for decades. So I think really where they're pivoting now, where you've seen from Secretary Scott Bessent, is they're pivoting to focus on growth at this point, saying, you know what, we are not going to, cut spending in order to solve the deficit problem. We're going to have to grow the economy.
That is true, but $215 billion isn't chump change either. Peter, let's get your take on this one. A Federal Reserve study finding that the illegal immigration crisis, the surge we saw in this country during the Biden administration, is to blame for a 30% rise in home prices, a 20% increase in rents across metro areas. Now, we've been reporting this for quite some time, but you've got the Federal Reserve now backing it up that, we've got a supply problem here, but it's not about interest rates. It's not really even about the supply. It was about the flood of people that illegally came into this country and needed housing. That's not an easy light switch to turn off, even though the president has closed the southern border currently.
Yeah, well, I'm old enough to remember when Trump came in and he was going to deport all these people, and they told us, who's going to build the houses? Well, guess what? You've got millions of extra houses that all these illegals have been hogging. And by the way, they're tending to move into entry-level houses, smaller houses, 3-bed, 2-bath. That is the exact type of house that young families need in order to start building, having kids, getting married, and reaching out for the American dream. So, 30% is about $40,000 added to the cost of the median house. But if we look at what's happening with people not getting married, not having kids, I think it's been much worse, the damage.
Peter, I want to get you on this one as well. President Trump rang the opening bell in the Oval Office, the first time that's ever happened, hard launching Trump accounts while outlining an Australia-inspired retirement plan that directs 12% of workers' pay into savings. Watch this.
We're going to be talking about that with Congress and see if we can implement it. And that would be more for grown-ups as opposed to children, but it's something that's going to be great, I think, if we can get it done, and we're going to try very hard.
Okay, I love savings. I love getting kids invested in the market. I like adult saving as well. I get a little nervous about the heavy-handed government kind of wrapping itself around all this, Peter. What do you think?
Yeah, so I think, honestly, it's a fantastic idea. There are two ways to run government pension systems, and one of them is the way that we do 401ks, which is that you put money away and the money belongs to you. The other way to do it is Social Security, which sadly is structured as a Ponzi. So what I think he's moving towards, first, he wants to give everybody sort of a stake in the economy, which is supposedly what socialists want, right? They always want the workers to have the means of production. Well, here you go. That's a 401k. That is the Trump accounts. That's what he's talking about here, right? But really, the goal here is that if you can start to get people to understand that for all Democrats talk about Social Security privatization, try to scare people with it, we're just talking a 401k. And if you can get that 401k function into Social Security, which is they're already taking 12.5% of everything you make, but they give it to Congress, then Congress wastes it on Somali Leering Centers and other people's wars. If we can shift that to a 401k style system, then, if you take a look at 401ks, they built up $10 trillion over a period that Social Security was going bankrupt. So I love that he's doing this. He's getting a camel's nose under the tent. Hopefully he can push this harder.
Yeah, and to the point on Social Security, that is our money. So having it in an account that you are in charge of, that you have ownership of, I actually think that would make people feel really good. Peter, great to see you. Peter St. Onge, thank you. Peter.